Hi everyone and welcome to a new edition of Today's Youth, and our topic today will be youth and university education. As we know, the higher education system in Egypt is made up of 18 public universities with more than 2.4 million students, 12 public non-university institutions, and 15 private profit-making universities providing technical and professional training. And today we will be meeting with a young female student at one of the private universities in Egypt to speak about her experience in university education and how it affected her plans for the future. Now let's have a closer look at this report on the establishment of Egypt's first university, which is Cairo University. Let's have a closer look.
Cairo University, known as the Egyptian University from 1908 to 1940 and King Fuad the First University from 1940 to 1952, is Egypt's premier public university. Its main campus is in Giza, immediately across the Nile from Cairo. It was founded on the 21st of December 1908. However, after being housed in various parts of Cairo, its faculties, beginning with the Faculty of Arts, were established on its current main campus in Giza in October 1929. It is the second oldest institution of higher education in Egypt after Al-Azhar University, notwithstanding the pre-existing higher professional schools that later became constituent colleges of the university. It was founded and funded as the Egyptian University by a committee of private citizens with royal patronage in 1908 and became a state institution under King Fuad in 1925. In 1940, 4 years following his death, the university was renamed King Fuad the First University in his honor. It was renamed a second time as Cairo University after 1952. The university currently enrolls approximately 155,000 students in 22 faculties. It counts 3 Nobel laureates among its graduates and is one of the 50 largest institutions of higher education in the world by enrollment.
Welcome back, and joining us here at the studio is Justina Magdi. She's a student at the Faculty of Political Science at one of the private universities here in Egypt. Thank you very much for joining us today, Justina.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor.
Justina, you majored in political science. You're in the 3rd year of political science. Why did you choose that major in specific?
I feel that political science is the field that I can contribute to when I graduate. Political science requires much of reading and doing research, and I've kind of liked doing research and reading more. It also widens your horizons, you get to know more about the ideologies and how government works, so it's so interesting for me, and I've always wanted to go into political science.
How different is the university education from school years, academic-wise and on the social level also?
When you are at school, you have a small circle of friends, just a couple of friends, and I was at a school for girls only, so most of my friends were just girls. So when you go to university, it's kind of more open to the society. You meet people from different social classes, you meet people from different backgrounds, so it makes you more open to different cultures and different perspectives. And I think this is important at university because it prepares you for after graduation life. So I think that's how it differs.
What about university activities? Are you engaged in any university activities?
Yes, actually, last year I went, my first year at university, I was in a student activity at one of the public universities, and I was a magazine writer. I used to write there. And for the second year, I went to a team that we have in our university that's mainly for the folkloric dances, and it reflects our culture. Last summer, I applied for a program. It was at the UN in New York. It was for 2 weeks. I think also this activities opens more you to the practical life. One of the activities that I participated in my university was HALT competition. So HALT competition is a competition that is held all over the world between all universities, and you have your project that solves one of the challenges that's currently facing the world. And last year's challenge was the refugees problem. So I had a project, and I was the team that was nominated from my university to travel to Dubai. It was in March, and we had our project there presented. It was so useful actually to go into university activities. What's not written in the books, like the practical experience and this type of engagement with other people and other cultures, I think it's really important to not only that you go to university, you should also engage in such activities.
How far, Justina, does get engaged in university activities help you in realizing your potentials and your interests? When I went to the HALT Prize as the team nominated from my university, I really was affected by the experience. I discovered in myself that I can really handle the situation. Like, we went alone. We were me and 3 other friends from the university. So it gives you more self-confidence. It gives you empowerment. It empowers you that you can actually present your project in front of judges and with other universities. You had Oxford University, you have Cambridge University, so it's kind of really huge institutions. Makes you more confident, makes you discover more of yourself, and also made me somehow clear about how the future would go, like how would I want to do after graduation. So it somehow makes your goals more clear. More clear, yeah. Right. Justina, you just mentioned that you went to the U.S. Yes. with the Merit Organization. Yes. It's a partnership with the United Nations, yes, right? That's I would like to know, how did this experience benefit you as a person? Okay, so when you go there, we had 80 countries. We had people from 80 countries. So it was my first time to deal with so much of difference between the people. The culture difference. At first, I couldn't, I felt like I can't engage that much because, you can say a joke and they wouldn't laugh at it, or they wouldn't say a joke and you wouldn't laugh because of the different culture. But it benefited me that by the end, I was able to have friends from Serbia, from Ukraine, from the U.S., and also from Syria. We had some people from there. So now I have friends from different countries. We still talk to each other. We still, if some of them, as a Syrian friend was coming to Egypt, we went and we met. And it also benefited me on the, because we had the projects there, so I knew how to initiate a project, how to do the business model. So it was both benefit on a personal level, like having friends and experiencing new cultures, and also knowing more about how to do a project and this business aspect. So you've just mentioned that your experience in the U.S. was very beneficial on the personal level, as it was a good chance for socialization with other nationalities. Yes. So in this respect, or in this regard, I would like you to tell me your opinion about the upcoming youth conference that will be taking place in Sharm el-Sheikh. It's an international youth conference that a number of youth will be coming from different parts of the world to join together to attend this youth conference that will be held here in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh. Would you tell me, how would such conferences help in breaking the ice between youth in different countries? How would it help the youth in socializing and gaining experiences from other countries, youth in other countries? I think that with different cultures comes different ways of thinking. So if, for instance, you have somebody from another country, you would find his way of thinking and his way of solving the problem is different from you because of the different culture. So I think that conference is really important because you will have different nationalities, different ways of thinking, different solutions to the same problems. I think that will help in widening the horizons of the Egyptian youth, and also knowing
getting to know more about different ways of solving the same problem that maybe we're facing. So I think that's really, it's going to be beneficial. And also in socializing, like this is also really important for the youth to engage with other cultures.
Right. Justina, when you were at school, definitely you had certain plans in mind. You wanted to study something in specific. You thought about your future. But after going into your university years, you changed that, right? You changed your mind about a lot of things.
Yes.
Would you tell me how did you pass through these stages?
So when you are in school, all you know about the faculty or any faculty you're going to is kind of the traditional job that usually graduates work into. But when you go into university and you go into studying the fields, like in political science, we have many fields. We have international relations, international law, and it has so many fields. And so when you learn more at university, you kind of know which field you want to specialize in, which field you want to work at institutions in. That's how it differs, and it gives you a broader look, and it gives you more opportunity to look at more specific fields to specialize at after graduation. So when I was at school, I was like, okay, I'm going to political science because I want to be a political scientist. But it was so broad, it was not specific. But now after studying, you know specifically what you want. So
right. Now we're going to go to this short break, and we'll be right back.
إن رسالة الإسلام قد أرسل قواعد التعايش السلمي بين مختلف الأديان والأعراق.
هذا الدين مرتبط بالأديان السماوية برباط عضوي لا ينفصل.
الإنسان الشرقي بطبيعته متدين، يحب الدين لأنه يعمق الصلة الشخصية بينه وبين الله.
في الوجود اللي احنا فيه كله مش لوحدينا، ومش ممكن هنبقى لوحدينا.
إن مشيئة الله قضت أن يخلق الناس مختلفين حتى في بصمات أصابعهم. يقول القرآن: ولو شاء ربك لجعل الناس أمة واحدة ولا يزالون مختلفين. وحرية العقيدة مكفولة في القرآن بنص صريح.
واحنا أوصياء على عقول بعض، على اختيارات بعض. في الدين بالذات لا بقى.
لا إكراه في الدين، لا إكراه في الدين.
حرية الإنسان وحرية الإيمان والاعتقاد تقف عند حدود حريات الآخرين.
مسلم الذي يؤذي أهل الكتاب تبرأ الله ورسوله منه في الدنيا والآخرة.
يا ترى في مدارسنا وفي معاهدنا وفي كلياتنا بنعلم احترام الآخر؟
لا يمكن أن يكون ثم سلام بين الشعوب ما دام لا يكون ثم سلام بين الأديان.
نحن رجال الدين علينا مسؤولية كبيرة.
كل واحد فينا هيتحاسب لوحده وهيتسأل لوحده.
Welcome back, everyone, and still with my guest here at the studio, Justina Magdi. And back to you, Justina. I know that you are also engaged in several sports activities, swimming, karate. Would you tell me more about these activities?
I used to play karate when I was in primary and preparatory stage. It was at my school. And I used to play also swimming after this. I think it was beneficial, like for me to do sports. It somehow makes you like not deviate to certain ways. So you have your free time doing the sports and not other things. It also makes you know how to have that time management skill, because you have some days to go to sports and some days you have to go to school. So it gives you some skills about the time management. So that was the two sports I participated in.
So how did you manage your time between sports and between education? I mean, you've been playing several sports, swimming, karate. How much time did you devote to sports, and how did you manage your time between sports and education?
When I was at school, I used to like I know that the training would be twice a week, so I would like plan not to waste time, just go to home, eat, and then just start studying. I used to sleep as much early as I can and wake up as much early as I can too. I also used to read some of the books when I was going to school, and sometimes, not always, when I was going back home, on my way back home. But I think the real challenge was at university, when I had to focus on my studies, yet at the same time I wanted to do so many activities. I think it was more challenging.
Right, and how did sports affect you as a person, affect your life in general? Sports and hobbies and everything, all the activities that you've been doing, how far did it affect your character?
It makes you more tolerant to differences. It makes you more opening to different perspectives, and I think also it makes you more of a tolerant person. Also, I think, like I said, it gives you time management skills somehow, because you have to manage both. And also makes you explore, like the activities in universities makes you explore new fields. Like I was a magazine writer, and now I'm reporting and script writing at my university, so at the magazine of my university. So trying different fields through activities at university is so beneficial. Like you get to know if you're interested in media, if you're interested in other fields that's not your fields, through the activities, so that you also know more about yourself, whether you want to complete in another field or not. But as I said, it was actually challenging, because last year I was ranked as the second of my class, and in my first year of university I was the first of my class. So it was really challenging to do the required assignments and at the same time do the activities.
To manage both in the best way ever.
Yes, to
right.
manage both.
From your experience, what's the most interesting part of university education?
University education for me, I find it so interesting. I really enjoy studying. I think what's really interesting about university education is that you feel like you have the knowledge of the world in front of, like in between your hands. You can actually read in any field or any book in the subjects that you are studying. And I think what's really unique about university is that you have doctors and you have the teaching assistants that can help you, and that's really good opportunity that I think the university students should use. That you have somebody out there that can help you whenever you feel like there's something missing or there's something that you don't understand. And that I think this is something that you don't have after graduation. You just go by your own and you read on your own. So
right.
That's thinking.
Okay, I would also like to know how do you see university education? How is it corresponding to the work market? Do you think that university education gives you the required skills that the job market requires these days?
I think to a great extent I would say yes, because studying the subjects that I'm studying, it's the very basics for entering any type of job afterwards. But I also think that there are other skills that engaging in activities would you gain through, like there are other skills that you would gain from activities. But on a generally I would say that to a great extent, yes, university prepares you through the knowledge that you learn in university to the work field, whatever position you would be applying for or field that you'll be specializing at.
In your opinion, what courses or training besides university curriculum do you think students need to make them ready or to prepare them for the job market here in Egypt?
I think I would say having more than one language is important to some extent. I still didn't work on this, but I think having more than language is important. It gives you also opportunities at work. Communication skills are also important. You can learn this through activities. These are the main general skills that I think are important next to university for the job market.
Yustina, what are your plans for the future? What are you planning to do when you graduate?
I have a short-term plan. I'm next month traveling to Jordan in a conference in Amman. It's about the nuclear power and security issues. I was actually nominated by the Arab Institute for Security Issues in Jordan to go there. That's a short-term plan. After graduation, I think I want to pursue with having master's degree and a PhD. I feel passionate about knowing more about my field, so that's what I'm planning to do.
Right. Justina, if you have the chance to live in Egypt and work here in Egypt and other chances to live abroad, what would you choose? I mean, would you prefer to work here in Egypt and in your own country? Or would you prefer to go to another country to work in?
If it's work, then it means permanently, like for a couple of years or many years. So I think, no, I would prefer working here, but I would also prefer to go gain experiences from other countries and other programs outside, but then coming back. So I wouldn't prefer, actually, when I went to New York and when I went to Dubai, in both countries, I didn't feel like I want to live in any of these countries. They're so fascinating, they're so amazing. You enjoy there, but living, I think I would live in Egypt and work here, but I would go to experience more, to get more experience, and then I just come back to Egypt. I wouldn't live here.
Right. Justina, I would like to know your opinion about the latest youth conferences that were taking place here in Egypt. How did you follow them? How do you think these kind of youth conferences would affect the youth here in Egypt positively? What do you think the youth needs from their country? Or expect from their country?
I would say that I think it was good on a specific aspect that the youth felt that they can get their voices heard, that they can say their opinions about something, and at the same time, like, they can be actually heard by the government or by the state in general. That actually boosts the youth's self-confidence more. It makes them more optimistic about the future. So I think it was a step that needs further steps in the future, but it was a good step to have the youth saying their words in the conference. So.
Right. Now, the Egyptian leadership actually is giving great attention to the youth here in Egypt, and the year 2016 was declared as the year of the youth. What do you think the country requires from its youth, the same way that the youth is requiring from their country a lot of things? What about the other way around?
I would say general idea that the youth age is the age of having this energy and power, that you want to do something and you want to go and do change and this power. So I think maybe the thing that maybe some youth needs, all of them, but it's kind of having patience in achieving a gradual change. I think that's what really we need somehow, to some extent.
Right. Justina Magdi, thank you very much for joining us, and all the best of luck.
Thank you so much. It's been such an honor. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of Today's Youth. Don't forget to join us next week, same time. Till then, it's goodbye.